The afternoon wind gently penetrated between the petals of wild flowers growing between the rocks. The sun began to lower, leaving golden rays at the edge of the desert sky. Zayd and Kamil walked slowly through a small garden in the middle of an unexpected barrenness. The place was like a secret of the earth, quiet but alive. Kamil stared at his own steps in the sand. Small steps that were never really sure. "Master, I want to try, but I'm afraid of failing." Zayd turned his head, looking at the young man with a calm face. Kamil took a breath, then continued, deeper. "I'm afraid people will see me as stupid. I'm afraid all this effort is just a waste of time. I'm afraid I'll disappoint them and myself. Sometimes I'm even afraid to hope, because if I fail, it feels like I'm destroyed twice. Once because of reality, once again because of the hopes I made myself." Zayd didn't rush to answer. He understood. Fear like this wasn't just answered. It had to be given a place. He stared at a wildflower growing stubbornly in the hard ground. "Do you see that flower?" he asked. Kamil followed his teacher's gaze. That flower grew in soil that everyone thought nothing could grow in. But it grew anyway. Maybe it was blown by the wind. Maybe it fell from a bird's beak. But it grew anyway, and now, look. Zayd bent down, picking up a fallen petal. This flower didn't ask first if the soil was fertile. It didn't ask for a guarantee that it would bloom perfectly. It just tried, even though it might wilt, even though no one saw it. Kamil stared at the flower for a long time. Fear is part of walking. But if you let fear bind your steps, then nothing beautiful can grow from the soil of your heart. Kamil held his hand, this time tighter. "So, if I'm afraid, I can still walk." Zayd smiled softly. "Yes. In fact, it's the only way." The sky began to turn orange. Their shadows lengthened among the wildflowers that remained standing. Even though the wind was sometimes strong, even though the heat was sometimes burning, and under the desert sky, a young man began to understand. That courage is not about not being afraid, but choosing to keep walking, even though fear remains.